On the day of our engagement, my alpha mate Cain mistakenly thought that my mom had seduced his dad and almost killed his mom. He canceled our ceremony and forced me, who was 8 months pregnant, to jump into the silver pit. Cain hated me for 3 years and threatened me with my child to be the most humble slave in his pack, watching him and other women make love. Arya, you destroyed my family. I will never let you go in this life. Finally, I accepted my fate and stopped resisting, letting the guards throw me into the silver pit. However, when Cain found out that those things had nothing to do with me, he went completely crazy looking at the pool of blood in the silver pit. Chapter 1. On the day of our engagement, my alpha mate mistakenly thought that my mom had seduced his dad and almost killed his mom, so he canceled our ceremony and forced me, who was 8 months pregnant, to jump into the silver pit. Everyone envied me, a commoner wolf, for being mated to the alpha heiress of Sterling Pack. But 3 years ago, on my engagement day with my mate Cain, rogue wolves attacked the pack, and Cain's father, the pack's alpha, never showed up. Cain's mother was severely injured blocking a rogue wolf's silver dagger attack to save Cain. She's been in a coma for 3 years. After driving off the rogue wolves, Cain finally found his father in a hotel room, holding my mother as they lay on the bed together. Both had been drugged with excessive amounts of aphrodisiac and fell into deep comas. Although extremely angry, Cain still sent them to the healing den, but for some reason, they never woke up again. 3 days later, Cain's father died from failed treatment, while my mother survived but remains unconscious to this day. Everyone spread rumors that my mother and I had planned from the beginning to seduce the Sterling alpha father and son. The older one seduced the older, the younger seduced the younger, all for the Sterling Pack fortune. Why did your mother seduce my father? Now one's dead and one's injured. Are you satisfied? Cain knelt beside his mother's hospital bed, his eyes red from crying. No matter how much I tried to explain, his eyes held nothing but towering hatred. He wanted to skin us mother and daughter alive, but just then I was discovered to be pregnant. I cried and begged Cain to let me keep this child. At least the child was innocent. Cain forced me to jump into the silver pit. Only if the child survived could it be born. I jumped. To protect my child, my wolf was burned alive by the silver and died. From then on, I became an omega. Until the day of birth, I hemorrhaged severely and fought for my life to deliver a baby boy. That day, I lay weakly on the operating table while Cain held the child and said coldly to me, "Your mother caused my father's death. My mother has been in a coma for years and still hasn't awakened. Since you insisted on giving birth, use this child to atone for your sins. I'll make him the Pack's alpha heir. As for you, I'll tell him you're the murderer who killed his mother. You're never allowed to see him. I want you to taste what it's like to lose family too." From that day on, for 3 years, I've been doing the most menial work in the pack for the sake of my child and my mother who lies unconscious in the hospital. Endless torment makes me wish I could die every day. Fortunately, Cain hasn't directed his hatred toward little Finn. Seeing my son live well, I can finally feel at ease. Even if my mother truly was guilty, the torment Cain has inflicted on me should have been enough to repay everything. These years, I've secretly saved money and submitted an application to revoke my pack membership. In another half month, I'll be able to take my mother and leave this place. Today is my son's 3rd birthday. Thinking about leaving forever soon, I still can't help but sneak a look at my son. Coming to the banquet hall, I don't see my son anywhere. I secretly go to his room, but unexpectedly see Cain's childhood sweetheart Sage alone in the room with my son. Sage is the daughter of a neighboring pack's alpha. She grew up with Cain, and everyone once thought they were destined mates. No one expected that after awakening his wolf, Cain would announce to everyone that I, a commoner wolf, was his only mate. When Sage learned this news, she wanted to tear me apart, but Cain would rather break ties with the neighboring pack than protect me. Until what happened at the engagement banquet changed everything. "Baby, this is the moonberry cake Auntie made specially for you. Do you like it? Sage takes out a cartoon cake to tempt my son, a flash of viciousness in her eyes. My son's eyes light up as he cheers. And he is the best. Daddy never lets me eat moonberry cake. My heart fills with desperate anxiety. Cain doesn't let our son eat moonberry cake because he's been severely allergic to moonberries since childhood. He once went into shock from accidentally eating moonberries as a small child. My son doesn't remember this incident, but Sage knows. She deliberately wants to kill my son. Watching as Sage is about to feed the cake into my son's mouth, I can't hold back anymore and rush forward to knock the cake away. Seeing the overturned cake, Sage's face darkens. My son immediately shows disgust on his face. You bitch who killed my mother. You're just an Omega slave. How dare you knock over the cake Aunt Sage made for me personally? Little Finn pounces on me, biting and hitting. My slender arms are quickly bitten bloody, but I can't bear to push Finn away, afraid of accidentally hurting him. For 3 whole years, there hasn't been a day I haven't missed my son. I don't blame Finn because in his eyes, I'm just the pack's most lowly Omega slave and also a sinner of the Sterling family. Daddy! The door behind me is pushed open. Cain in a suit and tie walks in. 7 years have passed, and he still carries himself with the same noble bearing as before. Moment he sees me, Cain's eyes contain uncontrollable fury. What are you doing here? Who let you come? I lower my head. Today is my son's birthday, and Sage. But before I can speak, Sage immediately leans into Cain's embrace, pretending to wipe tears sadly. Cain, I personally made a cake for little Finn, wanting to celebrate his birthday, but I don't know why she suddenly appeared and knocked it over. I spent 10 hours making this. Does Arya not allow me to get close to Finn? What right does she have to not allow you near Finn? Her son? Someone like her deserves to have a son. Cain must have been drinking. His whole body still carries the smell of unscattered alcohol. He fiercely grabs my neck and drags me upstairs. The door opens and I'm thrown hard to the ground, my forehead hitting the bed frame and instantly bruising. I carefully lift my eyes. Lying on the bed is Cain's mother. Her whole body is connected to machines, and the heart monitor beeps steadily. Do you see? Thanks to you and your mother, my mother has been lying here for 3 years, and you still want a mother-son reunion. What about us then? How are my mother and son supposed to reunite? Chapter 2. Cain clenches his fists violently, veins bulging on the back of his hands, as if his fist might swing at me any second. My face turns deathly pale as I speak, almost beggingly. Cain, please believe me just this once. My mother isn't that kind of person. I don't believe she would do such a thing. Please, investigate again. My mother had served the Pax royal family diligently for decades. From beginning to end, I refused to believe she would seduce an alpha. Cain acts like he's heard the funniest joke, his upturned lips carrying bone-chilling coldness. You still dare say such things at this point? When the rogue wolves attacked, your mother and my father were lying in bed together at the hotel, even unconscious from excessive aphrodisiac intake. Are you trying to tell me someone framed her? I have no evidence and can only bite my lip tightly. How do you still dare appear in front of my mother? The furious roar of Cain's brother Ethan comes from outside. He runs in and shoves me back. Get out! Get out! My mother doesn't want to see you. He turns his gaze to Cain. Brother, why do you keep this woman in the Sterling house? And her mother? I heard you're still paying for her mother's medical bills. Why? Why not let them die? Ever since the Sterling family incident, Cain's brother has hated me to death. He used to treat me like his own sister, but I destroyed his family. Cain says coldly, how boring would death be? I want her to live. I want her mother to live. I want them to spend their entire lives atoning for their crimes. After speaking, Cain doesn't spare me another glance and turns to leave. After everyone disperses, Sage stays behind. Sage narrows her eyes and suddenly smiles. What a pitiful Omega. I know you've suffered plenty these years. You stayed because you care about your mother and son. That's fine. Soon I'll marry Cain, and your son will become my son. As for your mother, she'll be free very soon. Hearing this, I frown. What do you mean by that? Sage shows a triumphant smile. You'll find out. After speaking, she ignores my further questions and leaves on her high heels. But soon I understand what Sage meant. When I visit my mother at the hospital again, I'm surprised to find Sage standing beside my mother's bed with an elderly woman dressed in dark robes. Clearly a witch from the neighboring territory. The witch examines my mother with glowing hands, her eyes gleaming with an unsettling light. What are you doing here? I demand, rushing forward to protect my mother. Sage smiles coldly. Don't worry, we're here to help. This witch has found a way to save Cain's mother. The witch speaks in a raspy voice. The Luna's wolf spirit is severely damaged and fading fast. But there is an ancient recipe, a heart restoration potion that can fully heal her. My blood turns cold. What does this have to do with my mother? The potion requires a pure heart from someone with strong healing magic, the witch continues, her gaze fixed on my unconscious mother. This woman's heart carries the exact magical essence needed. No, I throw myself between them and my mother's bed. You can't take her heart. That would kill her. And why should I care about that? I spin around to face him, tears streaming down my face. Cain, please. My mother is innocent. You can't do this. Innocent. Cain's laugh is bitter. Your mother seduced my father and nearly destroyed our family. My mother has been dying because of what yours did. This is the price she must pay. He steps closer, his voice breaking slightly. How could you let me fall for you, knowing what your family did to mine? How could you look me in the eyes every day, knowing this secret? Please, I'm begging you. I fall to my knees. There has to be another way. Don't kill my mother for something she didn't do. Cain slowly pulls out an aged parchment from his jacket and throws it at my feet. Look carefully. This is your mother's slave contract, signed when she first came to serve our pack. With trembling hands, I pick up the document. The words are written in formal pack law language, but one clause stands out in bold letters. I pledge my life and everything I possess to protect and serve the Alpha family. Should any member of the Alpha bloodline face mortal danger, I willingly sacrifice all that I am for their salvation. At the bottom, in my mother's careful handwriting, is her signature and a bloody thumbprint. Chapter 3. My mother had always been loyal to the pack. The former Alpha once saved her life, and she was willing to give everything for the Alpha family. During that time, Cain's mother's wolf was rapidly weakening, her heart function failing. My mother must have signed this life debt contract to repay that gratitude. My mother's wolf had strong healing abilities back then, so she thought she could survive whatever payment was required. But not now. My mother's wolf has long fallen into dormancy, losing all self-healing abilities. Now taking her heart for this potion means directly taking her life. I grab Cain's sleeve and beg desperately. The doctor said my mother's condition is starting to improve. She can't handle this kind of trauma right now. Please don't do this. Surely there's another way to make this potion. Hearing me say this, Cain's fury grows even more intense. He shoves me hard to the ground. How is heaven so unfair? Someone like your mother gets to improve while my mother faces death from heart failure. This is what she owes my mother. The debt must be paid. Cain, I'm begging you. Please spare my mother. There has to be another ingredient that works. Cain looks down at me begging desperately on the ground. He wants to reach out his hand, but it freezes in place and he quickly pulls it back. How could this be possible? How could he still feel sorry for this woman? It was her and her mother's appearance that brought such disaster to his family. Stop dreaming. I will never forgive you, mother and daughter, in this lifetime. Seeing it's hopeless, I crawl over to plead with Ethan beside him. Ethan, please, for the sake of our past relationship, help me. Ask the witch if there's another way. A flash of reluctance crosses Ethan's heart, but he still cruelly turns his head away from me. It's useless begging anyone. Our family was too soft-hearted before, which is why we ended up like this today. We won't trust you again. As soon as he finishes speaking, Cain calls in guards and healers to prepare for the ritual extraction. I try to stop them, but a group of guards blocks me first, pressing me firmly to the ground. As I struggle desperately against their grip, Sage leans down and whispers in my ear with a cruel smile, "You want to know a secret? This potion doesn't actually require a heart at all. Any strong magical essence would work." My eyes turn bloodshot with rage and horror. "You're lying. Cain! Cain! Stop this madness!" But no matter how I scream and roar, I can only watch helplessly as my mother is prepared for the ritual extraction. The witch begins chanting while the healers ready their silver blades. For me, every minute feels like a year. I pray continuously toward the sky, praying that someone will stop this. Several hours pass. Cain's mother is brought out first, glowing with renewed health from the potion. The Sterling brothers are overjoyed, but the other patient, I nervously grab the healer and ask, "What happened to my mother?" The healer looks away sadly. Her wolf had almost completely lost its self-healing ability. We couldn't save her after removing her heart for the potion. In an instant, I'm struck like lightning, my whole body collapsing powerlessly to the ground. We had persisted for so long, just half a month more, and we could have left this place to start a new life. And it was all for nothing. The potion didn't even need her heart. How could this happen? When my mother's body is wheeled out covered with a white sheet, I can no longer suppress my emotions. I hold the cold corpse and cry heartbreakingly. Tears flow like a broken string, soaking my mother's clothes. My crying sounds desolate and desperate. Sage appears at the wrong moment, sneering coldly, "How pitiful." But who can you blame? If you had left earlier, maybe your mother wouldn't have had to die. Chapter 4. My heart fills with hatred as I lift my tear-stained face, my red eyes burning with pure rage. I hate Sage for killing my mother. I hate Cain for being so heartless and never believing in me at all. Looking at Sage's smug face, I can't help but rush forward. Even without a wolf, I want to tear her apart. "You killed her!" I scream, lunging at Sage with my bare hands. "You murdered my mother!" But Cain steps in front of Sage, his alpha power radiating outward as he waves his hand dismissively. The force hits me like a freight train. I'm thrown against the hospital wall, my back slamming into the concrete with a sickening crack. I slide down to the floor, coughing up several mouthfuls of blood that splatter across the white tiles. Then, to my horror, my son Finn steps forward and kicks me several times in disgust. "You lowly slave, isn't it enough that you killed my mother? How dare you try to hurt my new mother?" His small feet connect with my stomach and chest repeatedly. Each kick feels like a dagger to my heart. The accusation attracts the attention of other people in the hospital. They stare and point fingers at us, whispering among themselves. My heart feels like it's being tortured by 1,000 cuts. In the end, I can only watch helplessly as Sage takes Finn's hand and they disappear completely down the corridor. Now my wolf is dead, my mother is dead, and my own son sees me as his mother's murderer. I have nothing left to cling to. Over the next few days, I settle my mother's funeral arrangements and secretly prepare to leave. One day I hear other servants in the Sterling house saying that Cain's mother's condition has greatly improved after surgery, and she has even awakened. A desperate thought crosses my mind. Cain's mother was there that night. She might know what really happened between my mother and Cain's father. Maybe she witnessed something that could reveal the truth. Maybe she knows my mother was innocent. Although my mother is dead, I don't want her to bear the stigma forever. I run frantically to the hospital. But Kane's mother is lying unconscious on the hospital bed, just like always. The door suddenly locks behind me. Sage walks in. I ask, "What are you doing here?" "Waiting for you, of course. Your mother is dead. But it seems you still won't give up. You still want to stay in the Sterling family." "That's none of your business." "But you're blocking my path, so I have to make it my business." I look at Sage's sinister smile and immediately sense something is wrong. I turn to run, but it's already too late. Sage smiles as she pulls out a silver-tipped syringe and injects it directly into Kane's mother's foreline. "This concentrated silver solution should do the trick," she whispers with satisfaction. Suddenly, the heart monitor starts beeping frantically, alarms blaring throughout the room. The machines flash red warning lights as Kane's mother's vital signs spike dangerously. Kane bursts through the door the next second, drawn by the urgent alarms. Sage immediately changes to a pitiful expression. "Kane, you're finally here. Call the doctor quickly. It's all my fault for not watching carefully. I let Arya have the chance to poison your mother with silver." Kane's face contorts with pure rage and anguish. "How dare you? How could you do this to her when she's already fighting for her life?" "I didn't. It wasn't me." But Kane doesn't give me any chance to explain. He immediately calls for the doctor. His bloodshot eyes glare at me, filled with hatred and a trace of disappointment. "Are you really this cruel? Do you have to kill my mother?" Kane asks through gritted teeth. I shake my head desperately. "It really wasn't me. It was Sage. She's the one trying to harm your mother." "Why would she harm my mother? My mother has no grudge against her." Kane's large hand grips my throat viciously, veins bulging on his forehead. "Do you know that just yesterday I was still thinking, if your mother's heart could really save my mother, maybe I could find it in my heart to forgive you. Maybe we could." He doesn't have the courage to continue, his eyes full of pain and hatred as he throws me aside. I gasp for air desperately. The current Kane is no longer the Kane who once treasured me like a precious gem. He won't believe a single word I say. I shed a tear of despair and stop trying to explain. Kane's face turns iron gray. He angrily orders people to lock me in the silver prison. Until my mother is past the critical period, no one is allowed to give her food or water. Chapter 5, The Silver Prison, is where the pack holds the most vicious rogue wolves. I huddle in the corner in terror, clutching my knees. Around me are rogue wolves who have been starved for a long time, eyeing me hungrily. This reminds me of the old days. When my father had just died, my uncle threw my mother and me into a forest den of rogue wolves to fight over my father's inheritance. A pack of hungry rogue wolves instantly pounced on us. My mother desperately held me in her arms to protect me, but chunks of flesh were torn from her body piece by piece and devoured by the rogue wolves. I was held in my mother's arms, unable to see anything except my mother's blood everywhere. In the end, my mother nearly sacrificed her life to barely escape with me. Fortunately, we were rescued by the former alpha at the border. Although we survived from then on, the sight of rogue wolves would fill me with extreme terror. I don't dare move at all among this pack of rogue wolves. I don't know how long I've gone without water or food. I don't even have the strength to move. The door finally opens. I struggle to crawl to my feet. The visitor is Sage again, looking pretty good, still able to stand. "I told you long ago to leave early. Who told you not to listen and insist on ending up like this?" My bloodless lips twitch slightly. "I will leave. But even if I go, will Kane definitely marry you? He doesn't love you." "He doesn't love me? Does that mean he'll love you?" Sage's smile turns sinister. "At least Kane listens to me. He didn't even care about your mother's life or death when he dug out her heart. Good riddance, she should have died long ago. Her shrill laughter pierces my eardrums. Veins bulge on my arms as I use my last bit of strength to lunge at Sage, wanting to die together with her. But Cain suddenly appears, pushing me to the ground and shielding Sage. Arya, you still refuse to repent even now. Sage's tears come instantly. Cain, it's all my fault for being useless. I couldn't persuade Arya. She said that as long as you let her out, she'll still go kill your mother. What should we do? Then don't let her out. Before I can say a word, Cain orders the guards to drag me toward the silver pit. The huge silver pit looms. Before me, its metallic surface gleaming ominously. My entire body trembles and my blood runs cold. I'm terrified of this massive silver pit. When I was pregnant, Cain forced me to jump into it before allowing me to give birth to our child. For the sake of my unborn baby, I jumped in. But my wolf Cora was burned to death by the silver in that pit. I still can't forget Cora's wailing and the unbearable pain as the silver seared through her essence, killing her slowly. Please, Cain, I really didn't do it. Please don't make me go in there. I cry and beg desperately. I'll die in there. I really will die. I look into his eyes, searching for any trace of the man who once loved me. Cain has a moment of heartache, but his eyes immediately turn cold again. You can't stand this? Then why did you hurt my mother? You must be punished for doing something wrong. You should reflect on yourself here. He coldly orders the guards, find a healer to make sure she doesn't die. I want her to stay in the silver pit and taste the pain. Then he leaves with Sage without looking back. After Cain leaves, the guards take out vials of concentrated silver water. Miss Sage told us to let you have a taste of pure silver. One guard sneers. I realize the guards have been bribed by Sage. Before I can react, they grab my jaw and force it open, pouring the burning silver water down my throat. The liquid fire scorches my throat and chest as they throw me into the silver pit. My screams echo off the walls as the silver burns every inch of my skin. The agony is beyond description. They watch me writhe in pain for several minutes before leaving me to suffer alone. My wailing lasts for 2 hours. The silver eats away at my flesh like acid, leaving me barely conscious. The butler finally can't bear it anymore and comes to check on me. When he opens the door to the pit chamber, he's stunned by what he sees. My small, broken body lies in a pool of silver-burned flesh and blood, barely breathing. The butler calls for people to pull me out of the silver pit, then runs frantically to the front hall. Alpha, something terrible has happened. Miss Arya, before he can finish speaking, Cain's phone rings. It's the hospital calling. After answering, he jumps up from the sofa. What? My mother is awake. Wait, I'll be right there. Cain excitedly grabs his keys and heads for the door. The butler frantically tries to stop him. But Miss Arya Cain is already extremely displeased. What could possibly happen to her? Pull her out of the silver pit and find a healer to heal her. We'll deal with it when I get back. Chapter 6. Cain rushes to the hospital with unprecedented excitement. His mother has been unconscious for so long, and now she's finally awake. But when he arrives at the hospital room, something feels wrong. His mother had lost all of the memories about the rogue wolf attack. Sage worries that delays might cause problems. So before Cain's mother is even discharged from the hospital, she brings her parents to discuss her mating ceremony with Cain. Their mating ceremony is set for 1 week later. Sage eagerly drags Cain to the jewelry store to select accessories and to order her Alpha's mate gown. Cain goes through the motions mechanically, his mind elsewhere. Every time Sage smiles at him, he finds himself thinking of my tear-stained face. Watching Sage slowly walk out wearing the traditional Alpha's mate dress, Cain feels dazed, as if he's seeing my silhouette instead. I'm smiling brightly, pinching his face and saying, Cain, if you ever dare treat me badly in the future, I won't marry you. Cain, what's wrong with you? Sage's voice pulls him back to reality. Cain hides his emotions. Nothing at all. It's been 3 days already. These past few days, Cain has been busy with engagement party arrangements. I've disappeared completely, never appearing before him. During meetings with wedding planners, his mind wanders. He finds himself glancing toward the door, waiting for me to bring him his usual afternoon coffee. The coffee never comes. I never appear. Cain tells himself he should be relieved. He's about to mate with Sage. He shouldn't be thinking about me at all. But something feels fundamentally wrong. Cain returns to the Sterling house and angrily questions the others. Where is Arya? Doesn't she know I'm getting engaged? Where is she hiding and slacking off again? The servants look at each other uncertainly. We don't know where she went either. Cain senses something is wrong. What do you mean you don't know either? Hasn't she come back at all? We don't know. We haven't seen her for a long time. Cain suddenly stands up. Where's the butler? Wasn't I supposed to have him find a healer for Arya? Someone replies, Butler seems to have been looking for people to clean up the silver pit these past few days. I heard it got very messy in there. The silver pit? The last place I stayed. After hearing this, Cain's bad premonition grows stronger. He runs quickly to the silver pit. At this moment, his phone rings. It's Sage calling. After hesitating for a few seconds, this time he doesn't answer but hangs up directly. Before he can push open the door, the butler walks out from inside. The butler's eyes flash with terror. Alpha, why are you here? Cain presses him. What happened in there? Why does it need to be cleaned for so long? Where's Arya? Why isn't she cleaning it herself? Miss Arya, the butler sighs helplessly. Miss Arya probably can never come again because she has passed away. Chapter 7. The sound hits Cain like thunder. His lips turn deathly pale. He can't believe what his ears just heard. What did you say? Say it again. The butler sighs helplessly. Young master, please accept my condolences. Miss Arya has truly passed away. Impossible. Impossible. Cain laughs maniacally while shaking his head desperately. He grabs the butler's shoulders with deadly force. His eyes bore into the butler's, searching for any trace of deception. This is fake, right? This must be another one of her schemes to deceive me. How could she possibly die? The butler speaks calmly. That day you ordered the guards to throw Miss Arya into the silver pit. Miss Arya kept crying for help. When I went to check on her, the scene was too horrific. Even remembering it makes the butler feel unbearable. Cain asks with trembling voice, Speak, what did you see? I saw Miss Arya burned nearly to death by the silver. Her mouth was full of silver water. Her whole body was covered in blood and wounds. Impossible, impossible. You must be lying to me. The butler pushes open the basement door voluntarily. If you don't believe me, go see for yourself. There are still unclean traces in the silver pit. Cain rushes over without hesitation. The silver pit surface has been washed many times, but bloodstains are still faintly visible, large patches that are terrifying to see. Even with the facts before his eyes, Cain still cannot accept reality. How could this happen? Didn't I say to have the guards find a healer? I said not to let Arya die. How could this be? The butler lowers his head. I don't know about that. I only know Miss Arya kept calling for help. She screamed so miserably. By the time I arrived, it was too late. Cain's face turns ashen as he crawls on the ground. His trembling hands stroke the bloodstains. He can even imagine how much pain I must have felt. How terrified I must have been. Thinking of this makes his heart feel like it's being torn apart. Ever since his mother's accident, he didn't know how to face me. Faced with such hatred, he had no way to be with me peacefully anymore. Even just seeing me would remind him of that pain. That's why he made me work as an Omega servant in the pack. But even so, he couldn't help thinking about me. He deceived himself again and again, deceived others that he didn't care about me. Until this moment, Cain can no longer deceive himself. He was even fantasizing that if I would admit my mistake, if his mother never remembered anything for the rest of her life, could they pretend nothing had happened? He really just wanted to scare me. He never thought of letting me die. Cain breaks down completely. His crying and screaming attract his mother and Ethan, who just returned from the hospital. They are startled seeing the basement scene. Cain, what's wrong? Cain cries with bloodshot eyes. He dares not lift his head to look at them. Don't come in. Ethan, quickly take Mom away. But it's already too late. Cain's mother sees the blood red all over the ground. As if stimulated, she suddenly feels dizzy and falls to the ground. Cain quickly crawls to her side. Mom, what's wrong? Doctor! Doctor! After a few seconds, Cain's mother slowly opens her eyes. She grabs Cain's hand weakly. Where is Arya? I need to see her. Cain suppresses the pain in his heart. He tries not to let tears fall. Cain's mother, seems to have a premonition. She presses. What exactly happened to her? Ethan says, Mom, don't look for her anymore. Just let those people become the past. Can't our family live well together? No. Cain's mother's chest heaves with excitement. I remember now. I remember everything. I'm the one who wronged her mother and daughter. I'm the one who killed Arya's mother. Both Cain and Ethan are shocked. What are you saying? Cain's mother says with regret. That day someone told me your father was having an affair. Arya's mother was accompanying me to catch him in the act. But we were attacked on the way, and Arya's mother was kidnapped. I'm the one who caused Arya to lose her mother. I'm the real sinner. Hearing this news, Cain's mind goes completely blank. All the strength in his body feels drained. His entire person collapses to the ground in a daze. So it turns out all these years, he was like a clown hating the wrong person. It was their family who wronged me. I should have been the one to hate him. His mind echoes with my tear-filled words from back then. You will definitely regret this. Yes, he regrets it. He regrets it so much he wishes he could die instead. Cain kneels in that pool of blood, crying like a child. Cain, what's wrong? Don't scare Mom. Cain covers his chest. The heartache makes it difficult to breathe. He presses his face against the ground, as if this way he could be closer to me. It's too late. Everything is too late. Arya's mother is dead. Arya doesn't want us anymore. Chapter 8. By the way, how did Arya's mother die? I heard she was in a coma. Cain's mother asks with confusion. Cain's face turns deathly pale. He explains that Sage found a powerful witch who needed my mother's heart to make a potion to save Cain's mother. Cain's mother shakes her head in disbelief. I heard from the healers that this kind of potion can also be made with other herbs. Cain stares at her in shock. He shakes his head frantically. Impossible. That can't be true. He can't believe it. Cain immediately summons a healer to question him. The healer trembles under the Alpha's intimidating presence. He doesn't dare lie. Indeed, the witch has made the same potion using other herbs to save other patients. Seeing the Alpha's aura growing stronger and more threatening, the healer tries to explain. Using a heart ensures better efficacy of the potion. But Cain can no longer hear what the healer is saying. His world has collapsed completely. Everything he believed was a lie. Cain runs like a madman to my gravestone. His eyes hold nothing but deathly silence. I will take responsibility, Arya. Wait for me. The next second, Cain resolutely pulls out a silver dagger. Ethan sees his intention and quickly stops him. Brother, you can't die yet. Don't you think Arya's death was too suspicious? This sentence makes Cain freeze instantly. Ethan continues. Didn't you order the guards to bring healers to watch over the silver pit and keep Arya alive? And why would Arya have silver water in her mouth? while in the silver pit. Yes, Cain thinks. Sage clearly said there would be healers present, so nothing would go wrong. Sage, he murmurs the name. Cain's mother suddenly remembers. It was also Sage who sent me the message about your father's affair. Ethan asks with confusion, how would she know about Dad's affair? However, Cain has already figured everything out. He dials his beta's phone number. Go investigate the rogue wolf invasion from back then. Find all the pack surveillance footage and see what really happened. Also, bring me the guards who took Arya to the silver pit. In the pack house interrogation room, the guards' agonized screams echo endlessly. 2 guards lie on the ground with bruised and swollen faces, begging for mercy. Alpha, please spare us. It really wasn't our idea. Miss Sage told us to force silver water down Miss Arya's throat and not to get her any healers. Yes, she's your future, Luna. We didn't dare disobey her. Cain has already watched the surveillance footage. When Sage mentioned wanting the highest concentration silver water, these guards enthusiastically recommended it. They even guaranteed it would cause the most painful death possible. Cain viciously swings the silver whip in his hand, but he doesn't kill them directly. He wants them to taste what fear and suffering feel like too. The silver whip cracks through the air like lightning. Each strike tears through their skin with sickening precision. Please, Alpha, we were just following orders, one guard sobs. Cain's eyes are ice cold. Following orders to torture an innocent woman to death. The whip strikes again. The guard screams as silver burns through his flesh. You enjoyed it, didn't you? Cain's voice is deadly calm. You enjoyed watching her suffer. No, we didn't, the other guard pleads desperately. But Cain remembers the surveillance footage too clearly. These men smiled as they forced silver water down my throat. They laughed at my screams. Cain raises the whip again. The guards cower in terror. Feel that fear? That's what she felt. Except she was innocent. Before he can strike again, the butler hurries over to tell Cain that Sage has arrived. Cain throws the whip aside. His face becomes completely expressionless as he walks into the living room. I watch him transform. Gone is the grief-stricken man from my graveside. In his place stands the cold alpha he's become. Cain, you're finally willing to see me. I couldn't find you anywhere these past few days. Sage's voice is sickeningly sweet. Cain responds coldly, I was busy. Sage's smile falters slightly at his tone, but she quickly recovers. Is Auntie's condition worse again? She asks with fake concern. Should we postpone the engagement ceremony for a few days? Her heart pounds with anxiety. No one wants this engagement more than Sage, but she must pretend to be understanding and considerate. Cain stares at her. His gaze makes Sage feel guilty for reasons she can't name. She shifts uncomfortably under his scrutiny. Something feels different about Cain today. Cain, what's wrong? She asks nervously. Cain suddenly speaks. That won't be necessary. You can prepare for the engagement ceremony as planned. Sage immediately lights up with joy. It seems Cain really intends to be with her after all. Great. I'll definitely prepare everything perfectly. I'll give you a wonderful surprise. Her mind races with excitement. Finally, after all these years of scheming, she's won. Cain is hers. Cain's icy face shows no emotion whatsoever. I also have a surprise prepared for you. When Sage hears this, her eyes sparkle with excitement. Really? What is it? She can barely contain her happiness. A surprise from Cain on their engagement day? It must be something special. You'll find out when the time comes. Chapter 9 on the engagement banquet day. The scene is extremely grand. Sage waits joyfully and expectantly for Cain to arrive. The banquet hall is decorated with white roses and golden ribbons. Hundreds of pack members gather to witness what they believe will be Cain's new beginning. Sage stands at the altar in a flowing white gown. Her face glows with triumph as she imagines finally becoming Cain's Luna. When Cain arrives, Sage excitedly announces that the ceremony should begin, but Cain stops her with a raised hand. Sage looks confused. Cain? What's wrong? Everyone is waiting. Cain steps aside, revealing a large screen behind him. Before we begin anything, there's something everyone needs to see. The screen flickers to life. The first video begins playing. The first video shows Sage secretly meeting with rogue wolves before the attack. She hands them a map of the pack's defenses. Gasps echo through the crowd. Sage's face turns pale as death. That's not real, she stammers. The second video plays. Sage is in a hotel room, injecting Cain's father and my mother with aphrodisiacs while they're unconscious. The crowd erupts in shocked murmurs. Pack members point accusingly at Sage. She drugged them. She set up the whole thing. The third video shows Sage meeting with the witch. Her voice is clear as she instructs the witch to lie about needing my mother's heart. Tell them only her heart will work. Make sure they believe it's the only way. Sage's legs give out. She stumbles backward, shaking her head frantically. The fourth and final video is the most damning. Sage bribing the guards to torture me with silver water. Make sure she suffers. Pour the concentrated silver down her throat. Don't let any healers near her. The guards on screen nod eagerly. Yes, Miss Sage. We'll make sure she dies slowly. As each video plays, Sage gradually breaks down completely. The pack members around her voice their condemnation. How could she be so evil? She murdered innocent people. Monster. She's a monster. Frantically turns to Cain, trying to grab his hands. Cain, you have to listen to me. It's not what you think. Someone is trying to frame me. These videos are fake. All fake. Her voice becomes shrill with desperation. Someone wants to destroy our relationship. Who is playing these videos? Find them. You have to find whoever is doing this. Cain pulls his hands away from her with disgust. His voice is ice cold. I'm the one playing the videos. Sage trembles violently, her whole body shaking. She doesn't even notice the pain in her chest as she crawls back toward him. Large tears fall from her eyes. She still tries to appear pitiful and gain sympathy. Cain, please listen to me. It's not what you think. Those videos are fake, all fake. Someone must be trying to drive us apart. Her voice breaks as she sobs. I love you so much. How could I do such terrible things? Then Sage spots little Finn in the crowd. Her eyes light up with desperate hope. Finn, please convince your daddy. Auntie Sage loves you the most, and you like me best too, right? She expects Finn to support her like always. But Finn does something completely unexpected. He hides behind his Aunt Ethan, refusing to look at Sage. Ethan speaks with fury in her voice. You wanted to harm Finn, didn't you? Those toys you gave him, the food, everything was designed to trigger his allergies. Did you think we wouldn't figure it out? Little Finn looks at Sage with tears in his eyes. His voice is filled with hurt and confusion. Auntie Sage, I liked you so much. Why did you try to hurt me? I know the truth. Sage was only kind to Finn to please Cain. If Finn had died, she wouldn't need to pretend anymore. She could have her own child with Cain instead. Sage opens her mouth, but no words come out. Her eyes are red and swollen from crying as she looks around at the accusatory faces. The voices of condemnation ring out above her head like thunder. She shakes her head desperately. No, it wasn't me. None of it was me. Suddenly, she thinks of something. Her face twists with vicious desperation. I know who did this. It was Arya. That bitch is trying to frame me from beyond the grave. These must all be her doing. Cain's expression turns murderous. His alpha power radiates outward like a deadly storm. You're not worthy to speak her name. His eyes become fierce and terrifying. I see you won't cry until you see your coffin. Bring up all the witnesses. Soon, Cain's assistant brings out the witch and the guard Sage had bribed. They're all bound and trembling. It's her. She's the one who made us do it, the witch cries, pointing directly at Sage. Miss Sage paid us to hurt Miss Arya. She told us to make her suffer, the guards confess. Faced with this ironclad evidence, Sage finally can't argue anymore. Her lies crumble completely. Cain wanted to prove my innocence to everyone, to let the entire pack witness Sage's evil deeds. Sage collapses to her knees, her voice barely a whisper. Cain, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I did it all for you, even now, even caught red-handed. She tries to justify her actions. She tries to make Cain believe her love excuses her crimes. But I can see in Cain's eyes that there's nothing left. No forgiveness, no mercy. Only justice for the woman he failed to protect. Cain, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but I did it all for you. Chapter 10. Sage cries out miserably, still begging for Cain's forgiveness. She desperately grabs at his pants legs, pleading with him. When Cain remains unmoved, she turns to the others. First Ethan, then Cain's mother, then little Finn. But no one will even look at her. They all turn away in disgust. Cain's face remains cold as ice throughout. The person you owe an apology to isn't me. It's Arya. The mention of my name, the name Sage hates most, makes her face twist with rage. Just hearing my name makes Sage's teeth itch with hatred. Why should I apologize to her? If not for her, you would have been with me. How did I wrong her? She's the one who stole everything from me. She's the reason I became like this. She should be the one apologizing to me. The moment Sage finishes speaking, she regrets it. She sees the murderous look in Cain's eyes. Cain roughly grabs her and shoves her into a car. He drives straight to the cemetery. Sage is dragged like a chicken and thrown in front of my grave. The eerie atmosphere sends chills through her entire body. What are you going to do? Cain ignores her and speaks to the people behind him. Make her apologize to Arya. Don't stop until I say so. Yes, sir. A group of black-clothed bodyguards swarm forward. One kicks Sage's legs to make her kneel. Others hold down her arms and head, forcing her to kowtow repeatedly. Cain, you can't do this to me. This isn't just my fault. Don't you have any blame yourself? Thud, thud, thud. Sage's head hits the ground heavily. Within minutes, a pool of blood seeps onto the ground. She goes from screaming at first to nearly fainting, until even her voice is gone. Only then does Cain tell them to stop. The sky gradually begins to rain. Cain kneels in front of my grave. Sage was right about one thing. She wasn't the only one at fault. He was too. In the rain, Cain's figure looks especially lonely. His whole body is soaked and ice cold, but nothing could be colder than his heart. His face is already impossible to distinguish between rainwater and tears. Cain speaks to the photo on my tombstone with near madness. Arya, I brought the person who harmed you. Did you see? Stop playing games and come out. What do I have to do for you to forgive me? She'll never forgive you. Sage, who had been barely clinging to life, finally finds some strength to speak. She finally sees one thing clearly. Cain has gone insane. No matter how much she begs, it's useless. So she decides to vent all the resentment in her heart. You think I'm vicious, but what I did doesn't compare to even 1/10,000th of what you did. Who made Arya a slave in the Sterling house? You still don't know, do you? Those servants beat her and bullied her every day. Didn't you ever see the wounds on her body? And her death, when I told you there were healers at the Silver Pit, so she wouldn't die, you just believed me? You know how afraid Arya was of the Silver Pit. She was forced to jump in just to give birth to Finn. Her wolf died in that pit. How much pain must the silver have caused when it burned her wolf? Who's to blame for that? It's all your fault. Each of her words pours into Cain's mind along with the rainwater. Cain clutches his head in agony. Past scenes replay in his mind, me crying and begging him to spare me, and my mother. And every time, he so decisively hurt me. Stop talking. Don't say any more. Cain rages helplessly, then fixes his hawk-like gaze on Sage. If not for you, I never would have misunderstood Arya. We never would have separated. You go die. Go die. He lunges at Sage with a savage expression, but Sage won't let him have his way. She laughs maniacally. Didn't you treasure Arya so much? Even if I die, I'll splatter this woman's grave with my blood. As soon as she finishes speaking, Sage crashes into my tombstone and stabs herself in the heart with a silver dagger. No. Cain's face changes drastically with panic, but it's too late. Sage's bright red blood flows down the tombstone. Who gave you permission to dirty Arya's tombstone? Cain doesn't even glance at the unconscious Sage. He throws her aside like garbage and frantically wipes the tombstone with his sleeves. Arya, don't be angry. I'll clean it for you. It'll be clean very soon. Ethan arrives and sees this scene. He runs over with an umbrella. The rain gets heavier and heavier. He shouts to Cain at the top of her lungs. Brother, don't do this. Come back. Cain acts like he can't hear him. He continues wiping the tombstone by himself. Ethan sighs helplessly. Brother, Arya is already gone. No matter what you do, she can't come back to life. This sentence finally gets a reaction from Cain. He roars, who said that? Arya isn't dead. She's just angry. She'll come back. She definitely will. As he speaks, he breaks down crying again. Ethan has no choice but to stand beside him and keep him company. His vision blurred by rainwater. Cain holds the tombstone motionless, letting the rain beat down on him. In the haze, he seems to see me walking toward him through the rain. I'm standing there, still wearing my favorite white dress. I say, Cain, you were mean to me, so I don't want you anymore. Then I gradually disappear into the rain again. No, I was wrong. I'll never do it again. Arya, please don't go. Cain tries to chase after me, but he's been kneeling too long. His legs are numb. He can only crawl forward step by step with difficulty. But no matter how much he calls out, the figure still disappears. Arya, Arya! His hoarse screams sound like they're coughing up blood. Finally, Cain faints after exhausting his voice completely. I watch this scene unfold, feeling both pain and a strange sense of closure. Cain finally understands what he lost. Finally knows the truth. But it's too late. I'm already gone. Finally, Cain faints after exhausting his voice completely. Chapter 11. Ethan couldn't bear to see Cain in such a broken state. He picked up his phone and called me. Arya, please, Cain is destroying himself. He hasn't eaten in days, won't leave your grave. Can you come see him just once? The voice on the other end was desperate, but I felt nothing. I had learned the truth after my fake death. When I was severely injured in the Silver Pit, the Sterling family butler had sent me to the hospital secretly. The treatment required a huge sum of money. The butler was helpless and found Ethan for help. At that time, Ethan saw that Cain was planning to marry Sage. To end their toxic entanglement, she saved me and arranged my fake death. He was grateful for her decision to save me then. Otherwise, he would have regretted it for the rest of his life. But he never expected my fake death would cause Cain such devastation. No, I said coldly into the phone. Don't tell me about Cain's news anymore. We're strangers now. I hung up and boarded the plane to Europe. I found a territory by the sea and used all my savings to buy a small house. I opened a cake shop near the harbor. The salty sea breeze and the sound of waves helped heal my wounded heart. Every morning, I would bake fresh pastries and serve coffee to locals. Life was simple but peaceful. 2 years later, I met him. His name was Marcus, a gentle alpha from a neighboring pack. He was completely different from Cain. Where Cain was domineering and cold, Marcus was patient and understanding. "You don't have to tell me about your past," he said one evening as we walked along the beach. "I only care about our future together." His words touched something deep inside me. I was hesitant at first, afraid to trust again, but Marcus never pushed. He waited, showing me through actions that love could be gentle and safe. We mated the following spring. The second year after our mating, we welcomed a beautiful daughter named Luna. She had Marcus's warm brown eyes and my dark hair. Watching her grow filled the empty spaces in my heart. 5 years passed in this peaceful existence. Luna was now 5 years old, curious about everything. "Mama, tell me about your pack," she would ask. I realized it was time to face my past. I wanted to visit my mother's grave and introduce Marcus and Luna to her memory. "We're going to take a trip," I told Marcus one evening. "I want to visit my mother." He understood immediately. "Of course. It's time." The flight back felt surreal. Everything looked the same, but felt different. I stood at my mother's grave with Marcus and Luna beside me. The headstone was clean and well-maintained. "Grandma, this is Papa Marcus, and this is Luna," I whispered to the grave. Luna placed a small bouquet of wildflowers she had picked. "Hello, Grandma. Mama says you were very kind." That's when I heard footsteps behind us. I turned and saw Cain approaching. He looked terrible, thin, haggard, with dark circles under his eyes. His hair was unkempt and his clothes wrinkled. He clearly hadn't been taking care of himself. When Cain saw me, his eyes widened with shock and hope. "Arya, you're alive," his voice cracked with emotion. Then his gaze fell on Marcus and Luna. The hope in his eyes crumbled into despair. I thought you were dead. I've been coming here every day for 5 years." Cain suddenly dropped to his knees in front of me. Tears streamed down his face. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was wrong about everything. I destroyed the best thing in my life. Please forgive me. I'll do anything. I'll give up everything. Just come back." I looked down at him without any emotion. The man who once terrified me now seemed pitiful and broken. "Get up, Cain. This changes nothing. I heard about your pack's decline. I heard you almost lost your alpha position, but that's not my concern anymore." Marcus stepped protectively in front of Luna and me. "You need to leave. Now." Cain's eyes were wild with desperation. "You don't understand. She's my mate. My true mate." "I was your mate," I corrected him coldly. Past tense. I chose my second chance mate. I chose my family. Luna clutched my hand tighter, sensing the tension. "This is Marcus, my husband. This is Luna, our daughter. They are my family now." Each word hit Cain like a physical blow. He swayed on his knees. No, it can't be too late. I love you. I've always loved you." "Love?" I laughed bitterly. "You loved me while you tortured me? While you let others abuse me? While you forced me into a silver pit?" "That wasn't love, Cain. That was possession. Obsession." I picked up Luna and turned away. "We're leaving. Don't follow us. Please don't go. Give me another chance. Just one more chance." I didn't turn back. There are no more chances. I'll never see you again, and I'll never forgive you. Marcus guided us away from the cemetery. I could hear Cain's broken sobs behind us. As we drove away, Marcus reached over and squeezed my hand. "Are you okay?" I looked back at Luna sleeping peacefully in her car seat, then at Marcus's concerned face. "I'm perfect. I have everything I need right here." A week later, we heard the news from Ethan. Cain had been found dead at my mother's grave. He had taken his own life. When Marcus told me, I felt nothing. No sadness, no anger, no closure. Cain's death was just news to me now, like hearing about a stranger's passing. I was sitting in my cake shop, watching Luna play in the garden behind our house. Marcus was reading a book nearby. This was my life now. This was my future.